In my hardcore world, at the moment, I just have this tiny dock. But currently, our island is kind of cut off from the mainland over here. So in today's episode, I want to make a dock area. So let's get right into the video. But to start with, my rocket supply is at exactly 51 rockets. So let's take some sugarcane from the farm here. Some gunpowder from our gunpowder farm, and now we can get to crafting rockets. With a few final rockets, that's all done. So it's time to leave our start area again and go back to working on this fishing village. To start with, we're going to need a little bit of space. So let's cut down a couple of trees near to the water's edge. That's a nice clear space, perfect for building a little fishing docks and village. To start with, instead of going in blind, I think I want to lay out a couple of house shapes, so that we can have a rough idea of what we want to have in this village. And to do this, I'm just going to use moss, as it's very easily found using our moss farm, and also it's quite easy to remove using a hoe. I think we now have a nice layout, so let's give you a quick tour. To start with, at this end we don't have anything, as I'm planning on putting a nice build there. Here, this will mark out a crate, and I'm probably going to have a couple more, but that's the only one that I've got marked out here, just so we can separate it from this area that we're not transforming. Then we've got our first buildings, and there's going to be like docks everywhere ships will be, so we don't want it to be too close. So we've got like a row of buildings bordering the docks. Then these ones marked out of glass, they're going to be market stalls. It then carries around here, but there's a little like space around here where it's more closed off, and just a smaller detailed space where you can go down a little alleyway, find yourself in like a little area, a dead end. And then there's a little way into the main path. And this is where all the traffic for this city is going to go. So you'll come through this big gate. I'm probably going to do something like a gatehouse or portcullis here, and then you go into the island. That's basically it. We just need to get building. I think it's now time to get started, so let's work on this house first. The house is now in, and it's a bit of a weird diagonal one, but I think it turned out pretty well. And my favourite part, I think, is this roof. I've always wanted to try a diagonal roof like that, and I think it worked out pretty nicely. However, as you can see, it's not just this build, there's also a little tower that I made behind it here. And it's not my favourite build, but I think it might be able to grow on me. as it's got quite an interesting shape. Like it's got a weird dripstone roof as there's a 2 point, so I want to bring that to one center point. And then also it's got like this weird jutty out cabin thing, which we can work on in the interior. So this is a bit of a weird one, but I think it turned out pretty nicely. And now it's time to move on to these buildings back here. To start with, I've built a little building back here to like start the main walkway, as this is where all the people coming in from the docks will go. So I want them to be directed down this way, and this is one of the houses that we're going past, and I think does a nice little job, just being a small exterior that you can see, but it doesn't block the view of a tower back there. And it's nicely nestled in here, so we can still have a small back alleyway here, where we can go through here, look at this little window, and also go into the empty interior of this tower. But now it's time for this house. So let's do a little swap, and there we go. It's all done. We've got a nice little house here, and also decided to add in the bridge. So now we've got a nice little tower as well here, and a bridge connecting these two buildings. And we will do the interiors later. But now it's time to move on to this little closed off area here. The buildings around this corner are now complete, including this little one and this little diagonal one. I think they turned out pretty well, and they're nestled in nicely back here. Just need to complete the top tower up here. There it is, the tower is now in, completing this entire village. Well, at least for building, as I've still got to add in a load of paths around here. And most importantly, an actual dock, as at the moment we've just got a little village. We've got no docks for ships to come to. But first I need some more wood. Let's go to our wither skeleton farm to get some bones to run our tree farm. I ran the tree farm to get plenty of wood. So now we have a nice dock down here to start to work with. However, this is still a very blank canvas. We still need to add in a load of pathways. And of course, a bit more decoration and definitely some more light at the dock down here. I've started by adding a couple of lampposts dotted around the place just to give a bit of light so we don't have random torches on the floor. But now it's time to add some proper pathways around here so that we're not just walking on the grass. I've now added in a couple of pathways around the village, so we have a load of nice alleyways and ways around this village. And all of them bring us back to what I'm going to be calling the town centre, when the main path converges and it goes down to the docks. However, to complete the docks and the pathway, we need to go down below the nether roof to get some of these little blue things. Well, not just those, also some of these little ones, which you actually need shears for. I'm also going to take a couple of these, which I think you can actually mine with your fist. We can use these little plants to add a couple of decorations around. So at the moment it's slightly bare and a bit flat, so these will just add a tiny bit of detail and also a bit of plant life to the village. For the docks, I think I want to do something like this. Just a couple of crates, sort of like this, to add a bit of life to the docks, as if things are actually being transported around. I've now added a couple of decorations around on the docks here, including a load of crate, a small wagon here, well actually pretty big for a wagon, and 2 market stalls, with one selling flowers and then another one selling logs. With a small ship added in here, which looks okay, not the best as I've never done one before, but I think it looks alright. We can now move on to the interiors of these buildings, as at the moment they're just empty interiors. So it's time to change that and make them all nice and full. For this one, I think I'm going to have an inn, so I've added a couple of floors in here, 3 to be exact, and now it's time to fill them up. I've completed one interior here, so it's a nice little shop where you can buy all sorts of food, a few tables for sitting down and eating. Then if we go upstairs, here's the inn part of it. We have just a couple of bedrooms where all of the people and guests can sleep. And I of course have to add back the door because I broke that while adding in the floor. But with that, I think that's this episode done. And for all the rest of the interiors, leave your suggestions in the comments down below. But thank you for watching, and let's do a quick shaders tour. Also, remember to subscribe of course.